What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Joy, and we are back with another deck profile. I got my buddy Theo here. He won first place at a case tournament for Chaos Origins yesterday. Why don't you tell us what deck you're playing?
I'm playing Clown Mitsu, but a
Okay.
more lean version of it, just pretty much strictly engine and a little bit of just board breaking on it.
Really, Clown Mitsu, that's a really good synergy there. So I'm assuming you run the Ragged Record of Rights in there too?
Not currently. I went into a package using raw spear mode and just golden nutsacked
Okay.
on this board. I'm thinking about taking that out to run one Ragged Records and one Called By, and then putting a second Ragged Records in sideboard, maybe three, specifically because it's pretty much Hapagiri at 4. You can't get around it. It'll also get you into, extension plays if you need to go to a second Murakumo, which came up twice yesterday, actually.
Okay.
And how was your undefeated run at Hirosada yesterday, case tournament?
It was great. I went round 1 against Doom Z. The guy was good, but I'll be honest, he wasn't as good as our Doom Z player here. So I just knew how to steamroll it. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So game 2, we went against Sky Striker. The kid also didn't know the deck. He kept trying to fall into the Virtuous, my face down cards. He tried to activate Engage twice with monsters in his monsters on. I had to get onto him. Game 3, went against another guy undefeated. He was running RDA, and he was really good. He traveled from Lumberton to come. And I went 2-0 against him, and then I went 2-0 against Jared last game. I lost to Sky Striker once on a brick hand on a set 4 and pass, but I went legitimately undefeated the rest of the day. So.
All right. So let's go ahead and get this deck profile started. We'll start with your main deck.
So let's start with the clown stuff. You're going to run 3 of the Flare. So I took out the Novell package. I took out the Preparation of Rights. You are not running any other starters really for clowns. You're running a very small neutral clown package here. So you're going to run 3 Flare. You're only going to run 2 of the Bianca Visa. You can recycle this stuff back off of the new face a good bit, which you're running 1 of. I originally had taken this out, ran a couple games, didn't like how non-recursive it was. You have to put that back in there and include it in your play. That and the 1 of the Matinee are really the whole spine to your clown crew plays and combos. That's also the choke point. So if they were to fall in here or they ash the rehearsal, it stops your whole clown crew play. Rehearsal, you're going to run at 3. This card is absolutely stupid. So up against probably the best player that was in there, the guy playing Branded, on turn 1, I went Rehearsal. It lets you tribute a monster from hand. I tributed Murakumo, so unfortunately it put him in a bad predicament because he ashed the Rehearsal, so I didn't go into Clown, but then I was able to start Hapagiri and still go full Mitsu board on it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So why not Malabarismo?
I'm running 2 of those guys, and again, you're gonna bounce everything back off the new face a lot. This came up once against Sky Striker, because like I said, with the Sky Striker game that I lost, I had to set 4 and pass. I set one of these, popped it when he went into 0. He couldn't battle over it because it went into 2 bodies, and that extended to turn 3. You do definitely run the Malabarismo because their graveyard effects also are decently relevant, but the ratio should be 3 Rehearsal, 2 of the Malabarismo, and 1 of the Matinee. This is going to stay on field. You're going to constantly cycle this back here, and you can search it, and then this gets your combo piece started. But realistically, you're really playing Mitsu with draw engine from clowns more than you're honestly focusing on the clown stuff. The clown stuff seems to function almost more as bait. It's just scary enough because of the amount of card draw and the negates you get here that they will interact with your clown crew cards. So if you start to combo off or pop off, they'll ash, they'll do whatever they can to stop it, and then you go, all right, cool. Reveal Hapagiri, play prayer, start top whatever, and go into full Mitsu board anyway. And that tends to be realistically how I won most of the time was with the Mitsu board itself. This was just offering so much more resources that in any type of grind game, I would just out-resource the opponent. So, and that's pretty much it for the clown stuff. Boom. And then for Mitsu, we're running a fairly larger Mitsu package. We're running 2 Murakumo. He's the bread and butter of the deck. He's your constant board break. He's your hand pressure. He's just, again, the big one here. 1 Hapagiri. We're going to start popping the Ragged Records right in here to bump that up because it's effectively another Hapagiri. Absolutely broken and vital. 1 Futsu. I've seen builds not running Futsu, but you recur so much off the graveyard by bouncing the Kusanagi back so much. You just it's again too much value, and so basically you draw into a little non-engine you can, and you're constantly bouncing back what you need from the graveyard with the Clown Clue stuff in here anyway. So I mean, like realistically, all your draw power goes into non-engine interactment, so you always have something to do against your opponent. We're running one of Kusanagi, Aramasa, Saji, the Night Sword Serpent, and Wosu. I'm main decking the Wosu. The in archetype Kaiju effect comes up a lot for me. I don't know about every locals in like current meta, but we have a lot of players that go into branded, go into the unaffected Dogma Dragon, for example, and having access to a Kaiju first game can be invaluable in current format. You know what I mean? It was hilarious in that. We got the Great Purification. We're running this at 1. I thought about taking this out, but realistically, it also works such good as they know it's on the field because you search it off your combo, but they know it's an Omni Negate and Destroy, and it makes them play some weird ass lines because they know it's on the field. Sometimes they'll miss, and because you're going to set 5 back row most of the time in this deck, they're going to try to guess which one it is. They'll try to pop it with Mystical Space Typhoon and pop something dumb. I mean, you go into a lot of craziness there, and then the graveyard effect to recycle on your turn also comes up a lot because you can just tribute any reptile monster, go back into Murakumo as long as it was summoned officially, board wipe, go in for damage. You know what I mean?
And why this list in particular, you still main the Night Serpent? Because most lists cut it or don't even think about maining at all.
We're in a pretty heavy interaction format right now, but you're not seeing quite as many hand traps, for example. But what little bit of hand traps you do see is just hard negates. I'm using it more for chain blocking than anything, because I'll be honest, there's not many games where you actually get to go into your rank 4 like Dugaris or anything. Most of the time you end up linking into like the Dristy or the Ashlon or something for some other effects we'll go over when we get there. But the chain block itself is more valuable sometimes to make sure that your board wipe goes through or whatever, or your pop back off the Kusanagi than actually having the body on board.
Okay.
One mirror. Since I've been playing this build and this deck, I have only hard drew opening hand, pre-prep, and mirror 1 time. And it was against Sky Striker, the one I told you had that bricky hand that I lost. That was the first time since I played this deck that I've opened mirror or pre-prep and it made it a brick. I'm only running it at 1. I almost always, as a rule, run mirror at 2, but again, we're trying to keep this as lean as possible, so we are running it at 1. It did screw me one time though, I cannot lie, but it's not come up as much as I feared that it would, so kind of a non-point. 3 pre-preparations, again, just absolutely phenomenal card. Get you Habagiri, get you off to the races. We're running 2 Ritual. So you also need search targets. You can't search pre-prep. So when you get into a grindy game and you start trying to recycle these cards, they have to search something from the deck to recycle themselves back onto the field. If you run out of cards for them to search, your effect fizzles and they don't resummon themselves. So sometimes having some redundancy to get back into that is a good way to make sure that you have search targets and then can kind of do something. Because you can always try to tribute them off, cycle back in the mirror, use the mirror to draw back, so there's always kind of something on board. But you can get a little bit squirrely and sideways sometimes if you're not careful.
Okay.
And then prayers. Prayers is everything. It gets your Habakiri to start your plays. It dodges you losing your monster, bad effects. Realistically, you can do anything you want to it. It searches a monster, you can resummon out of graveyard to Monster Reborn. Prayers is an absolute staple, to the point that if they were to hit that on a ban list, it might kill the deck. You know what I'm saying?
In the tournament, how often did you got hit with droll or seen droll?
I got drolled twice. And realistically, you just set up into minimum board. Thankfully, most of the time you have some type of way to get into Mitsu. So I think one time I went into Habagiri off Ritual, one time I went into Murakumo off Ritual from hand, just kind of ended there, passed, and then saved resources to kind of bank up 2. I had Fallen set on one of them, and the Great Purification on the other, so I still had backup anyway. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Realistically, I got Perliad for the first time, the one that does from hand, and that was more annoying than the droll was to not give him the RDA player.
Right.
First turn, he hit me with Perlia, Ash, and Bell, all 3 on my first turn. It was nasty to play through. I think I gave him 1 draw, ended on Murakumo, and then 2 of the Clown Crew monsters with like 3 set back rows. So it wasn't
Okay.
It wasn't that. I beat him 2 by the time it was said and done anyway, so it wasn't
All right. Clean sweep.
too bad. And then non-engine, so running 3 Ash. You're going to start seeing a lot less hand traps in this format. This format is gearing towards board breaking. Everybody's doing it. I'm doing it. However, you still cannot underestimate a well-timed Ash. It's what beat me in my final match against Branded. If I did not have the Ash, he would have searched off Retribution and been off to the races. And that's just what shut him down and like won me that last match against Jared. In the finals, you know, I mean, he even said it. He was just like, "Do you have the Ash?" I was like, "Yep," and he scooped. You know what I mean? It's just, it's just like that sometimes. 2 of the spear mode. I said I am considering taking this out for a ragged record of rights and a called by. This does come up in some cool plays. I might sideboard it. The only issue is, and actually it happened more so against you than it happened in tournament. But what will happen is you'll go into the play, you get it off once, and then like, okay, he's running the golden nutsack. They don't end on a 3 board, and you never get to go into it again. Then it's a dead card in hand. You know what I mean? You did it to me with Rise Zeal, you know what I'm saying? So you can run it once and then sideboard it out, but it's more of a gimmick almost at that point. We're main decking 2 Droll. Droll is still very strong in this current format, and it screws over a lot of decks. And you have a nasty, toxic floodgate play with the Dristy, which we'll go into here in a little bit too.
Okay.
With this play, if you just want to be an absolute like delinquent with it, you know what I mean?
Or a menace.
Or both. You know?
Yeah.
3 Fallen in the Virtuous. This card is so good that it is going to be banned. I guarantee it's going to get hit on a ban list. It goes in, or limited. Any deck that can run it, that has the space for it, plays it. As soon as you get that Synchro Ecclesia in the graveyard, you have a built-in cantrip, a Monster Reborn. It pops anything. It resets itself for free if you send the Albion. Broken stuff. And then also broken in this current format. Anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! That can't be responded to seems to be almost overly powered. Super Poly just sucks up boards, slaps them in the face, and they just can't do anything about it. I hate seeing it myself, but sometimes you play it off. I went against Sky Striker as well. He Super Poly'd me, went into Garua, got rid of my Murakumo, something else, went into Garua, and then I Super Poly'd him with his Garua. I think I had Aramasa on the field, and then went into my own Garua there. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Just for shits and gigs. But I mean, Super Poly is. I've considered taking it out for droplets instead because you don't want so many -1 cards. But again, the board breaking is just too good right now to overlook. You know what I mean? So let's move on to the extra deck. So I side Nib. I've considered switching him out for Gallant Granite, but you draw so many cards, the search for the Nib isn't really necessary, and this gives you a lot more flexibility. It's a way to get over Liger Dancer. You can go into a tower, you can draw 2 cards if you do need more cards, but you draw so many cards you don't need. It can also recur a monster. Just a lot of flexibility there. I ran 1 Mud Dragon. Mud Dragon is really good, but I am considering taking it out. So it has the same requirements as Diabolo here for its Super Poly target. So while you won't get the negate effect here, you technically can suck up the same targets and go into the Diabolo. So the Mud Dragon is a little bit redundant. Just depends on if you're in a format or a local meta where you need to be able to like insulate your board that way. 1 Garua. Everybody's playing in archetype cards right now, unless you inquire very specific things. Cool Tunes, not all of them are the same type and attribute. Radiant Typhoon has a couple of randos in there, but a lot of decks you're going to encounter right now are going to be like Mitsurugi, all Dark Reptiles, for example. You know what I mean? You're going to have some target to go into. That is all of the Super Poly targets. For the Fallen stuff, I'm running a tight package here, so a lot of people will run to Albion because it'll set the full package, but realistically, you pop the 1 Fallen, send the Albion, set the second one, send the Ecclesia from here. Once this is in graveyard, you can then Monster Reborn off of your Fallen as long as it's in graveyard still. She can target herself and Albion to go back and cantrip as well. And realistically, if you're getting to the point that you need 3 Fallen or Virtuous, you probably got into grindy of the game with this deck anyway. I'm not going to lie, you burn through so many resources and draw so many cards, you do not want to get into a 5 or 6 turn just matching this. You're going to get to a point where you're not going to have any search targets in your deck for your cards, and everything's going to fizzle. You're going to be hard drawing into this interaction, into your Ash and that kind of stuff.
Now, did any point of the tournament, did your Ecclesia or your Albion got bestial before the end phase, or doing mid-combo?
Once. RDA bestialed it out, and I wasn't able to set it, but it didn't matter because I also had my own. I popped his creature, and then he had to put his Resonator face. He pretty much made a T set and had to pass too after I popped whatever he had. I don't remember what monster he had out. Okay. But like Fallen again is just too broken. It's one of those cards, like once you start learning choke points, like you let your opponent just go into so many resources, get to that one point where they'll use 3 monsters to go into that one XZs, and then you fall in there and they just fizzle. There's nothing they can do. They've just wasted all the resources. Like it's just a broken card against so many decks in this current format.
Right.
And again, it's gonna get banned. It's too good. It's too good. I'm telling you.
I totally agree.
But enjoy it while you can. This came up for the first time too, against Doomsday specifically. So he went into a board where he had a 4500 tower that had a negate on it, and then he had a, I don't remember what type of negate it had on it, and then he had another card that allowed it where I could not destroy his Doomsday monsters. So when you ritual summon, this card will allow you to shuffle back a card from field. So we ritual summoned into Murakumo, went Murakumo Chainlink 1 to board wipe, Ashland Chainlink 2 to shuffle back the card that wouldn't let me destroy his other card, and then just wiped his whole board. It was that Eric kid from, and he was good with it, you know what I mean? Like, Doomsday's a good deck. You just have to really kind of, again, know what you're doing, and you go to so many choke points in there because those XZ's monsters need so many bodies under them. There's certain points where, like, they use all the resources and go into, like, one just kind of moment, and if you pop it just right, like, you could see it on his face. Like, he was not happy. You know what I'm saying? For the Clown Crew stuff, we're running 3 of the Diabolo. This one's going to give you piercing damage, and it's also going to allow you to set the trap from your deck. The only trap, or Clown Crew trap we are running is the New Face main deck. In the sideboard, we are running the Soiree, but I actually completely cut the Finale. I did not even put it in the sideboard. Like, I'm not running it at all. Its Graveyard Effect is really good. Just, you don't want to go into too many sidelines. The one thing I have noticed about this deck and this particular build is it's just hyper efficient to go back into board and just keep recurring itself, and like you just do the you're really just relying on the board wipes from the Murakumos and the negates from the Clown, and then going into big bodies and beating over it. I mean, it's almost like old school Yu-Gi-Oh! I kind of dig it.
Right.
2 of the themes. This guy's going to give your attributed monsters 1,000 attack. It's also going to let you set the spell from deck, which is the Matinee. The Matinee will let you draw 5 cards per turn. The Matinee is absolutely busted. And that's the search target off of that during your whole combo. So you definitely want to run this. 2 of the Meteor, it allows you to tribute summon, and your opponents can't react to them.
Okay.
So realistically, on your Bianca Visto plays on your opponent's turn, it allows it where you could go into your Raw Sphere mode or whatever, and they cannot respond to that, so they have no choice but to let it resolve. Then from there, we have the new one, the Link, Dristy. Now she has a nasty play too. Her ability, instead of setting a card, like he will also let you bounce a Clown Crew card from graveyard back to hand on tribute.
Meteor?
Yes, Meteor. And then on tribute Dristy here, she will allow you to card destruction your opponent. So what you do is you go full combo, full board, ideally, right? You end on Dristy. And then on your opponent's turn during their main phase, because of your boss monster, you can tribute summon. So you tribute something into something else, tributing the Dristy, which is going to allow you to hand destruction. So you and your opponent are both going to discard your hands and draw new hands. However, you're going to turn Droll in this moment, and what's going to happen is your opponent is going to start their first main phase of their first turn with no cards in hand, no cards on field. You're also going to have no cards in hand, but you're going to have full back row and still full boss monster board on board. So I mean, to go into Murakumo, so you have them completely locked down. From there, at that point, it's nasty. The other cool thing is all of these monsters will also, once tributed, you can choose to shuffle back like fusion monsters from field or graveyard, these monsters from field or graveyard. So in all current matchups, these are nasty. Branded's main phase 3, if you want to turn that off, tribute a fiend, shuffle all their stuff back before end phase, and it resolves. Doomsday, go ahead and bounce them all back. You got a Mabuska that's bothering you, like it did in when I was playing Lunalight the other night. That took care of that. Took care of SP the other night. And then again, this one, we're really getting with cool tunes, but the not allowing your opponent to respond to your tributes is more busted than like I think people realize. Like again, not being able to respond to stuff is extremely just stupid in Yu-Gi-Oh. And then we'll move to the side deck.
All right.
So in the side, and I'll be honest, I didn't actually. I think the only person I sided against was Jared and Brandon, and I did not side the rest of the day. But we're running 1 called by. Absolutely, again, busted card. There's a reason it's at 1, you know. Screw your Ash, screw your Droll. 1 Nib. So people don't see Nib coming. It's not played in this format currently. And then all of your monsters want to be tribute, and you get some type of ability for it. So to board wipe your opponent like that and still get all of your Mitsu monsters back, and all of the searches can be beneficial depending on the matchup. Again, we're talking about board breaking here. So we're going to run 2 Lightning Storm in the sideboard. And again, that's really for certain matchups. Striker, for example, would have been good to go into that. If he had sideboarded, I would have sideboarded that in. For more board breaking-esque material, I'm running 3 of the Ghost Ogre. This is another hand trap that slept on. People don't see it coming, and they play right into it. I'm running 3 Bale. I'm considering switching this out for a Bestial package, Magna Hut, Baldrake, and Druid's Worm. But I like the flexibility of Bale because it will hit more graveyard effects than just the lighter dark monsters. But there are so many lighter dark monsters in current meta. I'm on the fence with it, I'll be honest. Charmies, still really good in this format. I hate this card. I hate running this card main deck. It's good. It's really good. I don't know. I just don't like it.
How many times full resolve against your opponent?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
No, I didn't play it at all. I didn't play it at all. I didn't. It's in the sideboard. Like I said, I barely sideboarded. I'm running 1 Soiree. This will let you send a Bianca Visa to hand or tribute summon one from your extra deck on your opponent's turn. So if you go into your opponent's turn, don't have a monster to tribute, you can search it here and then tribute off the Bianca Visa, go negate 2, draw 2, whatever it is you need to do. And then 1 Sea Monster Theseus, and that's obviously for the cool tune play. It is a super poly target, but I don't want it in my extra deck all the time, you know what I mean? So I'm sideboarding it, and then you would game 1 do what you need to do, and then game 2 you would sideboard it into the extra deck. I would probably take out one of the Dristies for it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Looking clean.
All right. Well, that is it.
Any last changes you would do with the deck going forward? Besides, you mentioned the Bestial package and the board with the nibs.
I'm really on the fence with the Bestial package still. I think getting rid of the 2 raw sphere modes and going into the either 2 Ragged Record of Rights or 1 Ragged Record of Rights and 1 Called Bite is the move. That's 100% what I'm going to do here. I ordered some Ragged Records in Super Rare. They should be coming in the mail any day now. I got them on pre-order. I'm pretty sure they shipped out the 3rd. And then I can update some lines and stuff to them. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be the move there.
Nothing. Go ahead.
From what I encountered yesterday, there's not really many bad matchups for this. You really don't want to see the mirror match. But aside from that, I mean, it did way better than Branded. Branded was the deck I was worried about. Granted, most of our best players are also on Branded, so that probably had something to do with that. But it did really well into Branded. So,
right.
Oh yeah.
Any last shout outs or pointers to anybody?
Give a shout out to this video, boy.
No, 100%. Jay, definitely for helping me prep and we've been practicing 3 or 4 nights a week, so I can start learning some of these rulings and whatnot, because Magic had me screwed up when learning Yu-Gi-Oh. Actually, Jordan and all the other guys, they're all really good. That's how I got so good so fast, is because they just all whoop up on me all the time. So I got tired of losing. You got to figure out how to play. That's how it works.
I'm glad I can help, man. Help you out, man.
No, 100%. But yeah, no, it was wonderful. I'm happy to have topped a big event for the first time. And
first place undefeated with Clown
100%.
Crew Mitsurugi.
Post Chaos Origins.
Just clowning around, So.
All right, guys, that's it. Stay tuned for next one.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.